What's up guys, it's Goblinman and today we're gonna be taking a look at SCP-096. Now in my opinion this is the scariest SCP. Like this fella, he's real horrifying. So let's just react to this video right here. I'm also gonna explain it to you as we go along. Shout out to the Exploring Series channel for making this video, and I hope YouTube doesn't copyright strike me.
SCP-096, the Shy Guy. In the SCP universe, violent monsters are more or less a dime a dozen. Much of the SCP Foundation's resources are spent containing creatures that would happily murder the global population, given the chance.
Yeah, some people also want to
what
murder the
exactly does
global
it take for one of these
population.
monsters to stand out from the rest? SCP-096 is an early SCP, and yet it's managed to both stick around in popular discussion and garner one of the highest ratings across the whole
Because
site.
look at this fucking fella.
Let's look at what
Like,
makes
imagine
this
you have
monster
this
unique
motherfucker chasing
and
you.
some of the interactions that the Foundation has had with it. SCP-096 is a humanoid creature, standing approximately 2.38 meters tall, or close to 8 feet. It is pale, hairless, possesses very little muscle mass, and its arms are extremely out of proportion in length, each being 1.5 meters long.
Dude, and he's
Its eyes are
incredibly
also devoid
strong.
of
It says
pigmentation,
in the wiki
possibly suggesting
that
that
he
it is
has
blind, and
unlimited
it is
strength.
capable of opening its jaw up to
Unlimited.
4 times the norm of an average human. Normally, 096 is completely docile, spending its time in its cell pacing across the floor. It shows no signs of possessing any higher brain functions, and the Foundation does not consider it to be sapient. However, when anyone, anywhere, views 096's face, whether directly, through a camera, a recording, or even a photograph, 096 will immediately enter a state of emotional distress.
So to put it simply, if you see even 1 pixel of this guy's like body, even 1 pixel, that's enough. He's gonna come after you, and when he comes after you, there is no stopping him. Like, no matter how far away you are, no matter where you hide, he will find you and he will get you, and nothing can stop him. Like, you can't kill him, you can't do anything. Like, you can't do anything to protect yourself from him. Even the Hulk couldn't protect you from this guy, because it says in the wiki he has unlimited strength, unbreakable bones, and he always gets his target no matter what. That's the thing. And imagine if this guy, if SCP-096, if his picture was spread on social media, like on Instagram or something, and millions of people saw him, like there would be like a mass murder, fucking genocide, all over the globe. That would be horrifying. That's why they keep him contained. That's why the SAP Foundation keeps him contained, and they don't want to let him out because he's too much of a threat. He's too much of a threat.
It will begin screaming and crying, covering its face with its hands, lasting for a minute or two. Following this, 096 will begin running towards the individual that viewed its face. So far, the SCP Foundation has found no way to physically impede 096, and it's capable of running in excess of 100 kilometers per hour. 096 seems to have innate knowledge of when anyone sees its face, regardless of distance, and knows exactly how to find them. A test was done by sending a D-class in a deep-sea submersible.
That's the thing is, you could hide on another planet and he'll still find you. I don't know how. He'll still find you. So no point in hiding. You're basically dead. Like, there is no point in even trying anything. You're dead if he comes after you.
Down into the Tonga Trench by New Zealand, hundreds of kilometers away from 096's position. The D-class was instructed to view a photograph that had been taken of 096, at which point 096 quickly broke containment and began running in the direction of the D-class. The path had been cleared of civilians, and the Foundation tracked 096 by satellite. Meanwhile, the D-Class was instructed to sketch a drawing of the photograph.
So D-Class are basically like criminals. They're criminals, murderers, whatever. And D-Class, what that is in the SAP Foundation, they are the lowest class in the hierarchy, and they're like prisoners, and they use them uh to make experiments on them. You know, they try things, they make experiments using these people as living test subjects. You know, that's what they do. Sometimes they do experiments like this, other times they they give them like some chemicals, whatever, you know, just a bunch of crazy shit.
Was then sent to the surface in a watertight container. Reaching the Tonga Trench, 096 begins diving down, finally reaching the submersible. It tears it open, the D-Class dies, and 096 is recovered. Viewing the sketches of 096 cause no adverse reaction.
So question is, how the fuck did they recover this guy? Like how did they catch him? Because, you know, as soon as you see him, you're dead. So did they like keep their eyes closed or look down and not look at him, and I don't know, put like a fucking fish net over him and just took him away? You know, you could do that, I think, because like they said, he's in a docile state. So theoretically, as long as you don't look at him, you could just you know, put like a fucking fishnet over this guy and just carry him like with a helicopter to the SAP Foundation. But you have to be careful, because if some motherfucker looks up and they see his pale 7 foot ass, dude. Oh fuck.
When 096 inevitably reaches a target that has seen its face, it kills the target and then does something to the body that leaves no trace. It's likely that this is something more horrific than simply consumption. Afterwards, if there is no one else that has seen its face, 096 will return to its docile state and proceed to return to its natural habitat, an expunged location, but likely a mountain range. Retrieval of 096 is considered the highest priority to the Foundation, due to the risk of a mass chain reaction of people seeing 096. We're then given an interview between a doctor and a former captain of a retrieval team that was sent to initially retrieve 096. The retrieval took place in an extremely cold location, but 096 did not seem bothered by this, simply wandering the area.
Huh.
One of the retrieval squads landed their helicopter and approached the target to apprehend it. While doing so, the captain received a call, causing him to turn away. At the same time, 096 turned around, causing the rest of the squad to see its face.
Oh, they're dead.
The captain says
They're
it
dead.
began screaming and crying, sounding much more like a human than an animal, and they fired upon it as it tore off the leg of one of the agents. The team utilized heavy weaponry against 096 to no effect, including an anti-tank gun that destroyed half of its torso, and roughly 600 rounds from a 50 caliber Gatling gun. It seems as though 096's flesh and organs are vulnerable to conventional weaponry, but its bones were completely unaffected, and it continued to slaughter the squad.
So basically, you can damage its organs, but the bones are unbreakable, and it can regenerate. Like it has a healing factor, like Deadpool or something. So it'll just like, even if you damage it, like if you hurt it, it'll regenerate.
Second squad arrived and placed a bag over its head, causing it to become docile. Somehow, the captain managed to survive by never actually viewing its face. The interview led to the doctor requesting that 096 be terminated as soon as possible. Terminations are not often attempted at the SCP Foundation, going against their mission statement, and often the Foundation doesn't even possess the means to terminate most SCPs. That's a big part of what makes 096 unique. We're given a lengthy log of an incident that convinces the O5 Council that 096 should be terminated. This itself is not the termination attempt, which, depending on your canon view, has not actually occurred, but it does add quite a bit to 096's story. The incident begins at 096's containment cell, as a dozen or so researchers are looking at monitors in the adjacent control booth. Suddenly, a wall of the containment cell begins bulging outwards as 096 fights against it. 096 soon breaks the wall, and two security teams enter the room to try and subdue or tranquilize it, to no effect. Most of the security team and the researchers have viewed 096's face at this point, and so the rooms are flooded with a nerve agent.
No.
2 minutes later, 096 escapes from the research site and begins running at high speeds across the surrounding desert. A recontainment team proceeds to chase after 096 in a helicopter and attempts to stop it with a modified anti-material rifle. A shot hits 096 in the leg, causing it to stumble for a moment, but not slow down. And a shot to the head causes it to fall and roll, but quickly gets back to its feet.
Yeah, because it regenerates.
The Foundation begins trying to figure out where and who the target was that caused the breach, and clears out population centers in 096's path. The process overseen by a Dr. Alexei. Another researcher working...
Just imagine how terrifying this is when he's running through the desert. He's about to reach some big city or some town, and you gotta clear, like you gotta evacuate everybody. And if you don't, if like imagine if a group of people, civilians, see him, he's gonna come after them too. He's gonna hunt them down too. So yeah.
On 096, Dr. Dan was in a mountain range trying to find out more about 096's origins. Dr. Dan and Dr. Alexei had designed a new piece of technology to help with containing 096, called Project Scramble. Project Scramble was an eyepiece containing a microprocessor that constantly analyzed its viewing field for the facial features of 096. If detected, it would scramble 096's face into an unrecognizable mess before the light reached the wearer's eye, protecting them from 096's effect. Unfortunately, it didn't work. Mobile Task Force Tau-1 was also sent in to recontain 096, equipped with Project Scramble visors. By this point, 096 is outrunning the helicopters and is tearing up a highway. 096's travel of direction caused it to pass through a few towns, and so the MTF is forced to gather up all of the townspeople and blindfold them, so that they don't see 096's face. The fourth town, however, holds the original target of 096's rage. All of the citizens of the town are gathered in the town square, blindfolded, and are told by the MTF to stay where they are and keep their blindfolds on, otherwise they will be shot. As 096 comes over a hill and lets out a loud shrieking sound, several of the civilians are shot, presumably for removing their blindfolds. 096 barrels into the crowd, throwing people aside.
I don't think it's ethical to shoot them for removing their blindfolds, because that sounds very that sounds like an evil regime or something.
Trampling others while it looks for its target, and more shots are heard. Finally, 096 locates its target, a middle-aged man, and the camera feed goes out once it grabs him. We learn from the commander of MTF Tau-1 that the target was a mountaineer that took a trip to a mountain range, again likely 096's natural habitat, and took a picture of the landscape. Apparently, this picture contained 4 pixels of 096's face.
4 pixels, bro. 4 pixels, that's all it takes.
At some point after the fact,
all it takes.
The target looked at the picture and noticed the 4 pixels, without actually
just that. He saw just that, and the shy guy came after him, hunted him down, and killed him.
But he goes on to say that Scramble was a colossal failure that led to the death of most of his team.
Well, guys, thank you for watching.